Hello, everyone out there in YouTube land. Today, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. We are going to be counting down the top 6 alternate versions of Superman. There are quite a few different versions of him, so as such, I'm not going to be including every version or some mainline versions such as Pre-Crisis Superman, Earth 2 Superman, or New 52 Superman. Primarily because they essentially make up the norm of what Superman is, and I wanted to focus on versions that were more different than what people picture in their minds when they hear the word Superman. For more on New 52 Superman, please check out my review of Superman number 1 by George Perez. And now, without further ado,
this looks like a job for Superman.
Number 6 is Superman at Earth's End. So, Superman at Earth's End is an Elseworlds one-shot from 1995. It is written by Steve Veck and drawn by Frank Gomez. It takes place in the 22nd century, and Earth has passed through 2 apocalypses. This version of Superman is depowered. He is much weaker than normal, and as such has to rely on guns, which is a little unusual for Superman, but this version uses a very large bunch of Gatling guns that he has all connected together, and that's kind of the most iconic thing from this comic. You always see his big gun, and I think it's called the Eradicator. Oh, the Expunger. His gun is called the Expunger, and it's a bunch of sawed-off Gatling guns all attached together. And basically, the Earth has been overrun by mutants and this group called Biomech 7s, and their leader is Ben Boxer, who Superman ends up fighting because he learns they're going to nuke Gotham as part of their plan to, remake Earth. So the villain in this turns out to be twin clones of Adolf Hitler. This is often kind of thought of as one of the more silly Superman one-shot stories, but it's definitely worth mentioning, and it's something you hear about from time to time. I'm not sure if I like Superman with a Santa Claus beard, but in this version he has it. So that's Superman at Earth's End as the number 6 best alternate version of Superman. Now, at number 5, we have Red Sun. Superman Red Sun is a 3-issue prestige comic miniseries that was published by DC Comics and was released under the Elseworlds imprint in 2003. It's written by Mark Miller, and it's created on the premise of what if Superman had been raised in the Soviet Union. It received critical acclaim at the time and was nominated for an Eisner Award in 2004 for the Best Limited Series. So the story mixes alternate versions of DC superheroes with an alternate reality version of real political figures such as Joseph Stalin and Kennedy. So in Red Sun, Superman's rocket lands in the Ukraine instead of Kansas. So instead of fighting for truth, justice, and the American way, Superman is described as the champion of the common worker who fights a never-ending battle for Stalin, socialism, and the international expansion of the Warsaw Pact. Within the DC multiverse, the alternate Earth depicted in Superman Red Sun is designated Earth number 30, and that's within the New 52 continuity. So the Superman of Earth 30 also appeared in Countdown Arena in 2007, and in that one he came into conflict with a Cold War based Superman from Earth 31 and the Earth 15 Chris Kent. So in 2008, Earth 30 and its Soviet Superman also appeared in Countdown to Final Crisis, Search for Ray Palmer, and Red Sun also appeared in Action Comics and the Detective Comics tie-ins in the Convergence storyline, in which they are forced to fight against heroes from the original Earth 2 Metropolis. And I actually happen to have these Convergence tie-ins, and I plan to do a review on those as soon as I am able to. So that's Red Sun. I think he's pretty awesome. It's a really interesting alternate take on Superman, and I always like in comic books when they do kind of an alternate history. The storyline's really interesting in Red Sun, but I won't go into it here too much. Moving on, we have number 4, Val-Zod. Starting out in Earth 2, number 25, Val-Zod takes over the role of Superman from Kal-El and continues on throughout the Earth 2 World's End miniseries. Val-Zod is one of the last Kryptonians of his universe and the second to use the mantle of Superman. He has a unique but similar story to that of the mainline Superman. He is the last of his house after his parents' execution by the Kryptonian court, and Val quickly made friends with fellow orphan Kara Zor-El right after Krypton's destruction. He, Kara, and his foster brother and another child managed to escape and survive their planet's destruction thanks to Jor-El and Laura. So, falling on Earth, he was found by Terry Sloan, who offered him asylum, and Lois helped him develop his powers, and eventually they came into conflict with the forces of Apocalypse, which included fighting clones of the original Earth 2 Superman. So that was in 2014 when Val-Zod took over as the Superman of Earth 2. Some of his powers are, he basically has the same powers as Superman. He's got super hearing, super vision, flight, powered by the effects of yellow sun, X-ray vision, invulnerability, superhuman stamina, superhuman strength, superhuman speed. He has genius-level intellect, and his weaknesses are similar to the mainline Superman, including vulnerability to kryptonite and vulnerability to magic. So that's number 4, Earth 2 Superman, Val-Zod. Number 3, it's Ultraman. Ultraman is the name of several fictional characters who are supervillains appearing in DC Comics. These characters are all evil or corrupted versions of Superman. Ultraman first appeared in Justice League of America 29 in 1964. Ultraman possesses essentially the same superpowers as Superman, although most portrayals show him gaining powers from exposure to kryptonite, even snorting it like a drug in the New 52 series, contrasting Superman, who is empowered by the yellow sun. Ultraman is also weakened by yellow sunlight in the New 52 comics, as his parents state that direct sunlight from Earth's sun breaks down the Kryptonian radiation in his cells, stripping him of his powers and causing him physical weakness as well as emotional distress. Few portrayals have shown Ultraman as being empowered by anti-kryptonite, but not weakened by kryptonite from the mainstream universe or yellow sunlight as in the New 52. Now in the animated movie Justice League Crisis on Two Earths, Ultraman is weakened by blue kryptonite that came from his Earth or alternate Earths, although it is never explicitly stated what produces his abilities. In the TV show Smallville, Ultraman is shown to be vulnerable to kryptonite from either Earth and strengthened by yellow sunlight, just like Superman. The antimatter Ultraman was once a human empowered by anti-kryptonite and is required to have it on his person at all times to maintain his powers, while regular kryptonite has no effect on him. Now, there is a difference in the names of Ultraman's abilities. Instead of super strength, he has ultra strength. Instead of super vision, he has ultra vision. Instead of super speed, he has ultra speed, and so on. However, Superman has noted during a fight with Ultraman that Ultraman constantly murdering his opponents in their first confrontation has actually made him weaker than Superman, because he simply eliminated his opponents upon encountering them while they are still getting used to their powers, while Superman fought them as they continued to get stronger and thus improved himself, putting Ultraman at a disadvantage when facing Superman's ability to think tactically. Also, in his first comic book portrayal, Ultraman is shown being defeated when he is exposed to too much kryptonite and gained too much power for his body to handle. This is similar to what caused a slow death in All-Star Superman by flying too close to the sun and gaining more power than his body could handle. Personally, I think that's kind of silly. Superman should be able to absorb an unlimited amount of energy, and if he had to expel it, couldn't he just use his heat beams or something? But that's just my opinion. Anyways, Ultraman first appeared as an evil counterpart to Superman, on the original Earth 3. DC had created Earth 1 with the Silver Age superheroes and Earth 2 with the Golden Age superheroes. So they decided to to expand the universe and include Earth 3, which had various villain versions of the superheroes on it. And the original Earth 3 Ultraman briefly appeared in the 1980s series Animal Man, and later in Infinite Crisis, the miniseries. Since Crisis on Infinite Earths, DC has returned to the concept of Ultraman several times, creating different characters with that name. Often appearing for a single issue in a story arc, there have been several appearances of these characters. The first version was an antimatter version of Ultraman created by Grant Morrison in his Justice League of America Earth 2 graphic novel. This person appeared several times and was slain at the conclusion of the final Crisis series. Another version, closer to the Silver Age Ultraman, appeared in the New 52 Universe's Earth 3. And based on comments by Grant Morrison, this Earth 3 universe is not the pre-Crisis Earth 3, making this character unrelated to previous versions. So, that's number 3, Ultraman. Next we have... Number 2, Kingdom Come Superman. This one is my personal favorite. First introduced in Kingdom Come number 1 from May 1996, Kingdom Come Superman was created by Mark Waid and Alex Ross. Kingdom Come is one of the truly greatest comics in the DC universe, so much so that it was given its own universe and Earth 29. Superman of Kingdom Come first appeared as the main character of the Elseworlds miniseries Kingdom Come, set in the future of the DC universe, and as such it features an older version of Superman. In 1999, The Kingdom, a sequel to the Kingdom Come series, written by Mark Waid but without the involvement of Ross, was published. This series again featured this version of Superman as its central character. In 52, number 52, the Kingdom Come universe is shown in the DC multiverse, as becoming, for the very first time, a part of the mainstream DC continuity, starting with Justice Society of America number 9. Now, Kingdom Come Superman appears as a member of the Justice Society of America. The character also received a solo one-shot Justice Society of America Kingdom Come Special Superman. Now, I have some of these JSA comics and I hope to review them sometime soon. Kingdom Come is also featured in some of the Convergence tie-ins. So, moving on, Kingdom Come Superman shares most of the same powers as mainline Superman, including vast superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability, senses, intelligence, regeneration, invulnerability, longevity, super breath, heat vision, X-ray vision, and flight. However, Kingdom Come Superman is shown to be much more powerful than New Earth Superman. Like other extra-dimensional versions of Superman, he is immune to kryptonite, and in the original Kingdom Come miniseries, Lex Luthor explains that Superman has absorbed several years more worth of solar energy, effectively erasing his kryptonite vulnerability. Someday I'd like to do a review of Kingdom Come for you guys, but it's such an epic book, I really recommend it. You read it for yourself if you haven't already. And now we have some honorable mentions. The first honorable mention we have is Superman Blue. The original Superman Red, Superman Blue tale is an imaginary story that was first appeared in Superman 162 in July 1963. The script was written by Leo Dorfman and the art is by Kurt Swan. The second incarnation of Superman Red and Superman Blue began in 1998. While temporarily deprived of his normal powers, Superman had developed energy-based abilities, which eventually forced him to adopt a blue and white containment suit to prevent the energy from dispersing. While retaining most of his abilities, he now also could sense different kinds of energy, including the trail of radioactivity from a passing van, bolts of electricity, and magnetic tractor beams rather than his original heat vision. He was also able to absorb the radiation, although this was incredibly painful. He also gained the ability to turn his powers off, though this took time to control as he inevitably fried a toaster at home. This switch to Clark Kent also left him as vulnerable as a normal human, which was a bit of a surprise to him when he stubbed his toe. This version of Superman was referred to by some fans as Electric Blue Superman. And our second honorable mention is All-Star Superman. All-Star Superman is a 12-issue American comic book featuring Superman. This series ran from 2005 to 2008 and was written by Grant Morrison and drawn by Frank Quietly, and digitally inked by Jamie Grant. DC claimed this series would strip down the Man of Steel to his timeless essential elements, and it was really well received by critics. Time magazine ranked the graphic novel third among its top 10 graphic novels of 2007, and IGN listed it in the top 25 Superman stories of all time. So, now, at long last, without further ado, we have number 1, Superman Prime, from DC 1 million. So, in the 853rd century, the original Superman, Superman Prime, still lives, but he has spent over 15,000 years in a self-imposed exile in his Fortress of Solitude at the heart of the sun in order to stay alive. During this time, everyone he knows and loves has died and passed away. One of his descendants, Kent, still lives, though. Superman Prime was immensely powerful, and he was able to stay in the sun for 15,000 years, so he became incredibly powerful. He was able to lift over 10 octillion tons. His heat vision could reach the heat of the core of the sun. He could fly 3 times the speed of light somehow. His striking power was 15.6 undecillion megatons, and he survived an supernova. So he's quite strong. He's many times stronger than mainline Superman. So that's the top 6 alternate versions of Superman. I hope you liked it. It was a little different than any of my other videos I've done so far, but I thought I would give it a try. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out a great deal. And if you'd like me to cover something else, different topic, a particular artist, or really anything comic book related, let me know in the comments. Thank you.